Welcome back to the Empowered Education Podcast, everyone. I am your host, Sochata, and today we are hitting milestone number 15. We have been on quite a journey together, exploring the corners of the modern classroom, but today we are talking about something that hits close to home for almost every family. We are talking about the gap between graduation and the real world, specifically financial literacy.
Thank you for having me, Sochata. It is an honor to be here for such a momentous episode. You know, when we talk about education, we often think of history or mathematics in an abstract sense, but financial literacy, that is the heartbeat of a person's future stability.
It really is, isn't it? I remember looking at my first paycheck at 18 and feeling this overwhelming wave of confusion. I saw all these deductions, taxes, insurance, and I realized I had no idea how any of it worked. Mr. Saroon, as an educator with 20 years in the system, how does it feel for you when you see students stepping out into that world unprepared?
It breaks my heart, honestly. I see brilliant students who can solve complex calculus equations, yet they feel a sense of paralyzing fear when it comes to opening a bank account or understanding a credit score. There is a specific kind of anxiety that comes with financial ignorance, and it is a weight our children should not have to carry alone.
That is exactly why we are here today. We want to discuss how to actually implement this into the high school curriculum. It shouldn't just be an elective that students might take. It feels like a necessity, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It shouldn't be a luxury of the few. We need to weave it into the very fabric of our schools. Imagine a world where a 17-year-old understands the power of compound interest, not just as a math formula, but as a tool for their own freedom. The feeling of empowerment that gives a young person is immeasurable.
Compound interest. If only I had felt that superpower earlier. But Mr. Saroon, I hear the skeptics. They say the curriculum is already packed. How do we make room for this without losing the classics?
It is about integration, not just addition. We can teach percentages through interest rates. We can teach social studies through the lens of economic history and personal taxes. It requires a shift in mindset. We have to stop seeing financial literacy as a side dish and start seeing it as the essential nutrition for a self-sufficient life.
I think about the students from low-income backgrounds. For them, this isn't just about wealth management. It is about survival. It's about breaking cycles. Does that weight the conversation differently for you?
It truly does. For many of my students, their parents didn't have the chance to learn these things. When we bring these lessons into the classroom, we aren't just teaching a student. We are potentially changing the trajectory of an entire family. You can see it in their eyes, the moment they realize that debt isn't just an inevitability, but something they can manage and avoid. That aha moment is filled with so much hope.
I love that, the aha moment. Now, let's get practical for a second. If a principal is listening right now, feeling inspired but overwhelmed, what is the first step?
Start small, but start now. Partner with local banks for workshops. Use real-life simulations. Give students a salary and make them pay for rent and utilities during their senior year. Let them feel the tension of a tight budget in a safe environment before they have to feel it when the stakes are real and high.
I wish I had a practice run for my first apartment. The feeling of seeing that bank balance drop after rent is a physical sensation I'll never forget.
We've all been there, but wouldn't it have been better to feel that shock in a classroom where you could ask questions, rather than in a cold apartment at 11 p.m.?
1,000 times yes. It's about creating a safety net through knowledge. Mr. Saroon, what about the emotional side of money? We rarely talk about the feeling of money, the greed, the fear, the security.
That is perhaps the most important part. Money is tied to our self-worth in this society. If we don't teach students that their value isn't defined by their bank account, but that their bank account is a tool to support their values, we are failing them. We need to discuss the psychology of spending. Why do we feel the need to buy things we can't afford?
It's that dopamine hit from a new purchase, followed by the crushing guilt of the credit card statement. If we can teach teenagers to recognize that feeling, we save them years of stress.
Precisely. We are building emotional resilience just as we are building financial intelligence. When a student knows how to budget, they aren't just organized, they are at peace. And that peace is what we should want for every child graduating from our schools.
That is a beautiful vision, Mr. Saroon. Peace through preparation. As we wrap up this special 15th episode, what is one final thought you want to leave with our listeners, the parents, the teachers, and the students?
To the students, your future is not a mystery to be feared, but a garden to be tended. To the educators, you have the power to give these kids the keys to their own lives. Don't wait for a mandate. Start the conversation tomorrow. The feeling of seeing a student walk across that stage, knowing they are truly ready, there is no better feeling in the world.
I couldn't agree more. Thank you, Mr. Saroon, for your wisdom and your heart. And to our listeners, thank you for joining us for episode 15. Let's go out there and make financial literacy a right, not a privilege. Until next time, stay curious and stay empowered.
Goodbye, everyone, and keep investing in yourselves.